Alright, now it's a symbolic world, and you can see through to ascension between the people who you play with during the day and what how they reflect you. How they reflect you and all the stuff that you have. A book of vibrations in your head, and you play this, and then you play this, and every once in a while you play grandma software, and then you'll play somebody who you used to know, and then you'll play new people, and you just sort of patch up the day. And then you'll play one of your old teachers here and there, and you'll start to second guess, or you'll, but at each time you're updating your own software to a new level of elevation. So now we understand something very, very powerful here. We know 1/3 of the RAM, but we know that this woman has risen out of the ocean, and now all the symbols of the world are within her and through her. And now 11, Aries, is the ruler of a nation. And this is how you get control, is that you actually have ascended. When you play with ascension, you know what thoughts have more power and velocity and can swallow other thoughts. So now when you're walking around with your triangle with wings and you're flying higher and higher and higher, you now have control of yourself. And so when you're up to speed with yourself, Leo, then now you're in resonance with all of your power. And so anybody who's in that matrix is now in your matrix. So then 12 Aries becomes a flock of wild geese. These are the people who's going to see the resonant wavelength, and they're going to be sort of subservient to this energy, or they match this energy. So they're going to like to hang out with you. You're going to have some things in common, and maybe even a Capricorn kind of subordinates to your wisdom, and that's how you become a ruler of a nation. After first you become the teacher who can teach through these symbols, and now the ruler of a nation, the flock of wild geese come in. Now, 13 Aries is a very, very pivotal one, and that is a bomb which failed to explode is now safely concealed. Now, a lot of people will shy down at this one, and this is that there are two things that you could do. Now, which one is the right answer? The right answer is the one that you go with. So any thoughts that you have that are on the premise of what is the right answer doesn't stand up if you're going to be the ram and really understand how these things work. Now, the bomb's going to explode because there's going to be people on another wavelength who are going to be like, yo, you just disrupted my wavelength, dude. What is up with that? But now the bomb fails to explode. That person gets back down on their wavelength. You give them a little bit of time. They'll go right back to their regular thoughts. And now you can swim on top. So now the bomb failed to explode. Now a serpent, step 14 Aries, is coiling near a man and a woman. So the division of the wavelengths actually segregates Romeo and Juliet from the evil snake that is all that isn't Virgo purity anymore. And so you start to want to coil this wavelength and set it apart, make it special. So now you have the contrasting point, and now you have the place where you're going. In velocity and constant movement. So now, step 15 Aries, this is the halfway point, is where an Indian's weaving a basket. And this is usually like your fall wavelength. The other side of that wavelength. So you go to the place where the bat cave, where you go to think, and you go to weave a basket and scheme around in the background and try and up your energy on a lower wavelength, so it's not going to get you there. But you're going to build little tar sea bridges to new locations, new neural connections, Okay, so the Indians weaving basket. Now, Brownies dancing in the setting sun. So you have Timber, you have Kesha and Pitbull, and this is the part where they're wondering what's going on. They're trying to make two become one, and now they're Brownies. They're mixed energy. They're wherever they are, but they're somewhere else. And so step 17, Aries, is two prim spinsters sitting together in silence. So that's the unmarried, the uninitiated Aries for the time being. And so you're just sort of lost in a world. And you always want to get people to those worlds, because even though we're interlinked by the way of that we see through our Taurus sensations, everybody's really weaving their own matrix. And the singularity of all of this, by use of the software and the ascension, we can connect through our software in a way that we look out for everybody's best interest. So step number 18 is a really good one. It's called An Empty Hammock. And I think of this song, Up All Night to Get Lucky, Up All Night to Get Lucky. This is the part where you know you have to run. You can't stay asleep. There are worlds to save on the other side. But now the other wavelength has been dropped, and now you're weaving a basket. So what do? You can't sleep. You get out of your hammock, and so you go on to this magic carpet of Oriental imagery. So now your thoughts are going to be going everywhere. I can't sleep, yada, yada, yada. And then you start to up all this lower stuff, and you bring it to a wavelength higher than it's ever been before, or at least in second place. So with Aries energy, you can either be in first place, you can be in second place, and you can reach down for third place. So there's not that far of a drop, and this is physics. So why don't you come with me, little girl, on a magic carpet ride? So maybe this is the part where you learn to close your eyes and dream, and you come to that place where you're comfortable, and a lot of people stop there. But we get to step number 20. This is a young girl feeding birds in the winter. This is when somebody can't sleep. They get out of bed and they start to go walking around. Oh, I couldn't sleep last night. So you go to the doctor and you get Ambien. Oh, no. We can't sleep. So here's the restlessness of Aries, and now each of these are steps. So now you became the teacher, and now you've gotten to the point where you miss your lover on the other side of the world. Maybe he's over, or she's overseas fighting, or something like that, and you constantly have to read your text and now who do I go to? Where do I go to? And so you just go anywhere. You're out of the hammock. Your imagination's running wild. And now you're going to feed some birds. Okay, that's the end of 20 point.